Hi, I'm Carlene Graham, and I was the program coordinator for the Healthy Living for Success program. I want to direct your attention to the printout program overview of the program and just kind of guide you through some of the highlights and have a little bit of a discussion about some of the things that I think were really valuable from this program that would be good information for the district to know and future programs that I may want to implement for its bus drivers. So as you know, the Healthy Living for Success program was put on by the T. Leroy Jefferson Medical Society, and its focus was to be a public health service to a medically underserved population of predominantly African Americans who have jobs that render them primarily inactive during the day, and they struggle with overweight and obesity and the consequences of it. We made sure that our program was customized to their needs, given their specific employment conditions, and also that it was culturally competent things that they could incorporate into their lives and bring home to their families. And there are a few things that we noticed that we want to make sure that we communicate to you. And the model of the program, the research model, was a community-based participatory research, and we wanted to make sure to include the expertise of the physicians and the public health professionals while placing a heavy emphasis on it being customized and understanding what their specific needs were. That did increase buy-in, as you'll see in the testimonials, and ultimately in the results that we'll get to in a minute. So every week there were presentations from T. Leroy representatives and interactive discussions and physical activity. We really had a lot of fun, as you may recall from the previous presentation that we did, and I'll include some video clips in this presentation as well. So just a quick rundown of the topics that we covered. The first week was mainly a program introduction and the pre-intervention assessment. So we wanted to set a baseline. And this was led by Dr. Brown Graham. We had recipes and food demonstration. They really enjoyed it. And you'll see really soon as I kind of cover the bases that building rapport was really important. Getting to know people by name, establishing a one-on-one relationship was important in accomplishing the results that we achieved. Week 2, we covered healthy portions and portion size, what to have on your plate and in what amounts. It may seem obvious, but these are things that having visual cues for were very helpful. Dr. Walker led that. And I'm going to quickly go through this because I know your time is valuable, but we covered a virtual grocery store tour so people would understand what their options were, how to navigate the grocery store strategically, coping skills, because emotions have a strong connection to the choices that we make, and when things are difficult, we may turn to things that don't really serve us in terms of our physical health, while they may have a band-aid solution. So we addressed coping skills. We also covered rest and relaxation, which kind of goes hand in hand with the coping skills, and cancer prevention. The rest and relaxation, actually there's a lot of links to eating habits and narcolepsy and obesity and increased hormones relating to having a lack of sleep. And it's so important that our bus drivers are well rested because they transport our kids and they have very important jobs. So we did some more live food presentations and other examples of how to combine purchases in a grocery store to make great meals. Staying healthy while dining out. You'll notice that the bus drivers carry out their lunches a lot. They don't really spend a lot of time at home before and after work, so preparing meals is a challenge. So we wanted to equip them with the tools to be able to make smart choices while dining out. Then we had a great presentation on natural strategies of losing weight and overcoming disease. Smartphone Smart Health was all about having your smartphone be a resource full of options for you to explore in supporting their health journey. And exercise for a busy bus driver. We brought in a personal trainer who they loved, who showed them exercises that they could do with basic household items and also things inside of the break room that they could use. We collected biometrics at the beginning and end of the program, and we did a ceremony, and we had 5 winners. One person won a $100 gift card, and 4 people won $25 gift cards. And then we also recapped some exercise and just really celebrated them, and we had a great time. But more than that, we actually saw results. It's great to have a great time, but we actually saw results. So some of the results we saw were in the form of the biometrics. We noticed improvements in BMI, we saw changes in blood pressure, fasting glucose, cholesterol, HDL, and LDL were the biometrics that we collected. So the total number of individuals who signed in at least once was 89 people. Now, there are far more people who, over the course of time, and depending on which time frames we were there, we had interaction with more people than that. But these are the people who signed in at least once. And there were, on average, 29 individuals who signed in each time. Now, I have to say that there are people who chose not to sign in, but still participated. We couldn't make them sign in. Some people maybe felt wary of weighing in and having their ID number attached to it. They came in halfway through, didn't necessarily understand, but over time we actually saw more buy-in into the program. We saw weight loss. Of the 35 people who had pre and post weight measurements, 18 of them lost a collective 57 pounds. So they did lose weight. And many of these participants joined as late as the 4th week of the program. You know, that's a third of the way through, and they still saw results. We saw a decrease in average weight, we saw a decrease in BMI, and based on those trends, we could see that with these resources, they would be equipped to reduce life-threatening and expensive healthcare costs to the health insurance company in the district. Now, the case stories that I wanted to point out were just some examples. Kathy S., she lost 6.3 pounds over the course of the program, but she also received a 100% score on the breast cancer prevention and awareness quiz. They learned how to implement these things. We also saw changes in the responses in the pre and post assessments that talked about behaviors and attitudes toward health. Raymond J., he was reluctant to consistently weigh in at first, but he signed in every single week, and he ended up being one of our 5 winners. He lost 8 pounds, and his biometrics also improved with all of them. On everyone that we tested, his blood pressure, fasting glucose, cholesterol, HDL, and LDL all improved. He's a prime example of somebody who participated every week and who reaped the rewards of it. Kind of in conclusion, I just want to emphasize that the program yielded exemplary results. Despite having an inconsistent schedule, there was difficulty really after we paused during that time where we had our last meeting. There was difficulty there in rebuilding the momentum, and you see that reflected in the numbers of the sign-ins. Eventually we did come back around, but you know, having a consistent program, having consistent communication from us, but also from the district and the depot where they work was really important. But I want to express something very particular about why I think our program was successful. Based on our assessment, the success of the program is due to a shift in the workplace environment and culture, and that's something that was facilitated by seeing familiar faces every week, shaping a conversation around health and wellness, and showing them how they could incorporate it into the space. We did things like where you might have a swearing game, or where if somebody swears, they have to put a quarter into some type of swear jar or whatever. We gave them examples of how they could incorporate those ideas, but instead of putting in money, they could put in squats. So ways that you can shift the culture, and this was actually something that they bought into because they were saying that they wanted to swear less around us. But these are little things, they're examples that we gave them of if they're watching a game, or if they're listening to if a certain song comes on the radio, that they all move to it. And what I want to really show, and this style of program in particular, is that when the participants come up with the ideas, they're more likely to buy into them. They're more likely to get the results. And also when that's supported by familiar faces who know their names, who know their stories, who understand their needs, these are where we see the results. This is something unique that I think the Healthy Living for Success program brought to this community, that helped to shift the environment, that if maintained could really make bus driving break rooms be a center for health. They actually requested for health equipment like weights and resistance bands, things that they could do during their break time. They were open and receptive to shifting the culture of the break room. And I want to communicate this to you to maybe consider ways of applying your resources to be able to shift the space, the culture, and conversation in the space. But a program like the Healthy Living for Success program, run by culturally competent and obviously highly intelligent and well-informed doctors, helps to set the tone and build that community environment. I'm going to include some testimonials for you to see as well, to see the shift in the conversation. And we heard a lot of people saying that, this didn't just change their lives, but it changed their families. And in terms of costs, in terms of insurance costs, then, these things have ripple effects. And yes, financial costs are important, but these are also lives and people who are instrumental in the success of our communities and in our schools and our schools' children. So we were really privileged to be a part of their success. And I'm hoping that the results are long-lasting and that they're continued. And thank you for the opportunity for working with you. I will include some testimonials now, and if you have any questions, I will be around to answer them via phone. Thank you for your time, and enjoy the testimonials.
I'm senior coordinator for the South facility in Boynton, and I would like to invite the ladies from T. Leroy Jefferson Medical Society Healthy Living for Drivers back to our facility for next year. Our drivers love the program. They love it. They're doing well, so we need them back next year. Thank you.
I'm driver 2 at the South facility with Palm Beach County School District. I like what's going on. I've seen them coming out here first, and they did have a lot of resistance from the drivers, but now everybody's cooperating a little bit more and a little bit more, and people are really taking to what's going on with the people that's coming out here. I would definitely recommend that they come back. I would definitely recommend they come back because a lot of our drivers are talking good about it, and they're getting a lot of good info that they didn't know. And maybe now they give me some info, and maybe when they come back, I'll join.
Hamilton, and I'm on the program, and I'm really enjoying it, and I'm getting a lot from it. With the doctor telling us how to eat, and I did a little better. Last week I tried eating out, and I brought my lunch. So today I brought my lunch, and I'm going to have kale and baked chicken. So I think there's benefit from it. We all need this because driving, not enough exercise and stuff. So you don't exercise, so you got to at least try to maintain your weight.
And it can lead to unhealthy coping.
Exercise hard. It's kind of hard for exercise. Work on it.
Like alcohol.
I did like the program, and I even liked some of the food. I really did. And I'm going to try the food too. Yes, I am.
My name is Tanya Wilson. I enjoy the program and listening to things that make us healthy and eat better and do right. And as the program was going on, I was doing that like vegetables. I learned that we can have that for breakfast, like the kale and the fruits and stuff, and that's what I had today. And I've been eating right, been doing good for a while.
Raymond Joseph.
All right.